Universal Studios have just confirmed a brand new UK theme park. Or have they? Good evening and welcome back to Judventures. It's your old Yorkshire boy Darren here, and boy do we potentially have some game-changing news today as we learn that Universal Studios may be opening a theme park right here in the UK. Now I know you've all just heard that and straight away you've gone, the London resort. Yes, it's true. When it comes to UK theme parks, it's extremely unlikely to ever get pulled off. But there is some absolutely fantastic and quite well backed up evidence here to show that Universal are at least definitely thinking about opening a park within the UK. So let's take a look at some of the evidence which has now come to light. So, as a bit of background, you may know that Universal has recently created the Universal Destination and Experience division within the Universal properties, and their express sort of desire and their express reason is to find new areas for theme parks and experiences around the world to push out that Universal brand elsewhere. We have seen small projects such as the Universal Kids Resort in Texas, as well as the Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. And with little projects like that, you know that the company and this division is serious about doing what they're doing in bringing Universal attractions around the globe. Now, rumours and speculation have been circulating online for quite some time about the potential of Universal owning a property within the European market, and the first indication of where this could be appeared in September 2023 when NBC Universal, using the exact same registrar that they use to register their Universal Orlando and other domains, have actually purchased a couple of brand new domain names, and those domain names are universalstudiosgreatbritain.com as well as universalgreatbritain.com, as well as their co.uk counterparts as well. So those domain names are now owned completely by Universal. Now, this is something that happens quite often in the industry. There'll be a small project going on, some fact finding, and what companies will do is they'll purchase potential domain names, quite often in bulk, to stop people buying those up should a project ever come to fruition. So this isn't a massive indicator that something like this will go ahead. It just indicates that there is the potential for them to be looking towards this in the future. So with just some small indications that Universal are interested in the UK market, what else is there possibly to further show some evidence that this could potentially happen? So slightly later in October 2023, an SEC report filed by Universal's parent company Comcast actually showed that the company had spent £271 million on what they describe as being associated with the acquisition of land for potential theme park expansion opportunities. So obviously they've already gone out and they've purchased this land. Now, this piece of land that we will show you in a minute does cost nowhere near the amount that Universal have purchased. And again, with businesses and like with the domain names, it's quite common practice for somewhere to purchase a piece of land just so it is off limits to other areas, other companies. When they decide that they're not going to use it, they can then sell that piece of land on. So it isn't unheard of. And the fact that the SEC filing doesn't indicate anywhere where there's an actual location of what has been purchased, just that £271 million worth of land has been purchased, and that could be anywhere around the world. Now obviously there is even more evidence to indicate a potential UK theme park, and that's thanks to the amazing people over at Orlando Park Stop, which have done the digging, and it's actually come to light through public records that Comcast, the parent company of NBC Universal that owns the Universal properties, have actually acquired a construction company and a development company named Cloudwing UK Limited. Now, they purchased Cloudwing Limited in August 2023. The filing for the domains was done in September 2023, and the final sale went through for Cloudwing Limited somewhere around October, in late fall. So it's 100% confirmed that Comcast now owns Cloudwing UK Limited, which is a UK company. And the reason that's so interesting is because Cloudwing UK Limited actually own a huge amount of land just south of Bedford in the UK, which is around 46 miles north of London. It's around 500 acres in total of land that they now own. To put that into size perspective, you're looking at Universal Orlando is around 735 acres. Universal Hollywood is around 415 acres. So it's actually 1/5 larger than Universal Hollywood. And Epic Universe is the biggest of the lot with around 750 acres. Now, what would probably be the best comparison, which we'll get into later, is that Universal Beijing is around 400 acres. So again, this piece of land that Comcast has purchased in the UK is around 1/5 larger than Universal Beijing. But all in all, it's good to note that it's within the area of one of the larger parks. So we did briefly touch upon earlier that Universal are doing a lot of smaller kids parks, smaller horror parks throughout the world, and those are very, very small attractions comparative to the larger Universal ones. But this piece of land that they have purchased is closer to this normal Universal major park that we all know and love. So if there was to be anything built there, it's likely it would be one of the larger parks. And as well as being much of the correct size for having a theme park within it, you're also looking at a huge number of benefits and small little tidbits on the side which could indicate that this is something that is really sort of at the forefront of Universal's mind. You're looking at the piece of land that's been purchased is just 46 miles north of London. That gives it an excellent location for not just UK tourism to go into this park, but people from abroad can fly into the major London airports, and it's only a short distance away from London by train and by road, which is another fantastic thing about this location. It has a rail station smack bang in the middle of the location. It has absolutely excellent road links to it. And the local council around the Bedford area have also stated recently that there is a huge project to build the infrastructure surrounding sort of the Bedford area and surrounding this area. Is that a coincidence? Or is it some prior knowledge that, hey up, if we put the infrastructure in place to make it even more of a proposition for Universal, maybe there's more chance that they will develop there, and it would be in Bedford's best interest because the local economy would benefit from it as well. It's also been a popular area for things such as this in the past as well. You have the London Resort, God rest its soul, chose this as one of its sort of 11 locations when it was narrowing down where the London Resort was going to go, and they saw this as being of a huge potential as well. But not only that, Universal Studios, which obviously has the theme parks, but is primarily a movie studio as well, and there is already earmarked a huge plot of land for a brand new movie studio not related to Universal to actually be built there as well. So everything, when you add it up, I know it's a long shot and this is the UK, these things don't necessarily happen, and this is just way in its infancy. This is all just sort of planning and moving chess pieces around the board, but a lot of this adds up to say that it's a pretty serious proposition that Universal are making. They've purchased domain names, so they've got the websites there ready for if they do decide to go ahead with a Universal Great Britain. They now have, or they are the owners of property or a piece of land the size of the other Universal parks, which has already had a lot of the research done as to whether it is a good area for a park by people such as the London Resort. It's got absolutely fantastic rail links and road links to make it a perfect site for something of a high traffic area. The local council are wanting to invest in the area and build up the traffic infrastructure. They've even mentioned that they expect traffic to be like doubly increased in the next 10 years. Why would they expect that unless they've got an idea that something big is coming? And then you also have another huge movie studio building this whole location up with a load of new sets and new studio locations as well, which could directly link and work with Universal Studios should they decide to go there. Obviously, one of the big reasons that people never believe something is going to happen in the UK is because we are just such a wet country. And I'm not talking wet as in the population's personality, but the climate here is absolutely awful. And somewhere like Universal and Disney, they like climates where they can open 365 days a year. They don't have to think about partially opening and closing, which that's what we're used to here in the UK. But Universal have the edge here because the aforementioned Universal Beijing has just been opened and they have terrible weather just the same as the UK. And what they've actually done over in Beijing is, I'd say 90% of Universal Beijing are actually indoor attractions. They have entire areas like the Kung Fu Panda area, which is just all indoors. Now, we know from things like Project Horizon in the UK that we are potentially looking at more indoor attractions because it takes away the need for closing during bad weather. It takes away the ride operations having to slow down when the temperature is too low. So Universal have this groundwork already for somewhere of a similar size and a similar weather climate, and now they have the land available too to just dump this whole sort of property in there. Now, the only thing that may be slightly different, and these are just complete speculation and rumours on the internet, is that it's said that Universal aren't looking to actually bring a lot of the IPs over from the US. So no Jurassic Park, potentially no Harry Potter, because they've already monopolised the market on that elsewhere, and they're potentially looking to bring some new IP properties into these UK theme parks if they build them, that would then not only just stop all of the traffic from the UK flying over to Florida to experience it over there because they've got one in the UK, but actually give two separate, completely different experiences where each of the country's population are forced to go elsewhere if they want to experience it all. So it's said that they'd potentially be looking at, and this list, as I say, seems pure speculation because it seems stolen from the London resort, but the potential to look at Paddington as an IP or James Bond as an IP and build those into this property. So it's completely based around the UK. It has that feel of being in the UK. It's got something unique about it as opposed to the Universal properties over in Orlando, which would be an excellent idea. It would be slightly gutting not to be able to go and have our own Velocicoaster here down by London. But it would be great to have something that is just ours and to have the theme park world's eyes on us for a change. It is an exciting prospect that this could happen. It is also completely in its infancy and may never come to fruition. By all means, comment down below. Do you think this is just another flash in the pan, exciting news article, or do you think there's some real substance to what is going on here? And if it does happen, are you excited by it? Do you think that it would have a bad impact on other theme parks within the UK? Do you think that it would have a great impact and drive further tourism through the UK while people are here? And if it does get built, what are the fantastic, iconic British IPs that you would like to see go within a Universal park? So, a very exciting prospect. I'm going to be stuck to the internet, glued, watching out for any further news that happens over the next couple of years. If it happens, it's likely not going to be until somewhere around 2030 or beyond, especially until after Epic Universe is built. But keep your eyes peeled because it's a very, very exciting prospect. With that being said, please give us a like on the channel. It really does help. We're trying to rocket us way up, way past 1,000, but we'll settle for 1,000. If you like this video, please smash that like button. And with that being said, let's roll the credits.